Road Rage, or not, it's actually Tom. And in this video, I'm actually discussing some things. I mean, I'm live, and I'm hoping that some people actually want to join in on this discussion because it's a pretty intense discussion, I think. Um, Pretty much, I've been thinking about the closed ecosystems versus the open ecosystems. And when I say a closed ecosystem, I'm talking about the Android ecosystem and the iPhone ecosystem. This is where the applications or software is available for the devices. Now, in an open ecosystem, you're able to install whatever software you want into your device, and you have that choice and that control on your device. Um, so for instance, you have Windows 10, which utilizes both a closed ecosystem and an open ecosystem. Okay, because and this thing, Microsoft is trying or make an attempt to push their closed ecosystem. However, you're still able to go and create software. You don't have to ask Microsoft for permission to create software on their operating system. You can create your software and install it, and it'll run. You can offer your software for free. You can offer charge for your software, and you don't have to get special permission from Microsoft to develop an application or software or any kind of software. You don't have to get permission from Microsoft for you to be able to develop on their platform. Now, flip over to iPhone and Android. Now you're in a world where you have to gain permission. Okay, so as a developer, I have to go to Android or Google, and I have to crawl down on my hands and knees and ask Google if I can develop on their platform. Okay, to be added to their store. Okay, now I am stuck following all these rules and regulations that Google forces me to follow in order to be on their ecosystem. Okay, on a freely available operating system, but I have to beg and plead to be added to the ecosystem. Now, this is what gets my goat. Okay, you have companies that create questionable software. Fine. Okay, but however, though, people should have the option to install whatever they want on their devices. They shouldn't be told, well, the software on your device is allowed by Google. Okay, and because the software developer doesn't meet Google's expectations of meeting their political viewpoint or their political slant or their slant on their political views, Google's able to say, hey, you know what? We don't want you on our platform anymore. Okay, if the company is making money on widgets on their software application, Google wants a big piece of that pie. Well, the thing is, though, Google didn't create the software. Google didn't has no intellectual property or stake in that software that was developed by the other party. Okay, by the company that created the software. However, because Google does not allow you or allow the company to collect any kind of money through their app, Google pushes their payment processing system, and their payment processing system takes a big chunk out of the money that gets spent on the app. Now, this is in my opinion highly unethical. Okay, so basically, in order for you to do business and be able to create software that can be used on Google's platform, you have to follow Google's rules and regulations to the T. However, I can develop an application on Windows. Okay, I can have all these additional plugins and all these additional little add-ons and all these little additional, they're called downloadable content, DLCs. Okay, I can have all this DLC available for my application on Windows, and I can charge whatever I want, and the credit card can be processed directly through the program. Okay, Microsoft doesn't care. Bottom line is, it's open. It's an open environment. Linux is another open ecosystem environment. Oh my God. Okay, and this is the thing. People are like, well, you got Linux and you have Microsoft. Well, you also have Macintosh. Macintosh is also an open ecosystem. Now, what Apple's working on, they're working to go from an open ecosystem and go to a closed ecosystem. And by changing to this new ARM processor, which is their processor, they're able to push their App Store apps more so than the open ecosystem apps, because it's a completely different process. So all the code has to be rewritten anyway. So why not rewrite the code and plug it into the and plug it directly into the App Store? So in order to get the code, you got to push it to the App Store. Okay, Microsoft, on the other hand, Microsoft is a software company, and they don't have control of the hardware. So say for instance you want to create an app for Windows. Well, Microsoft can't say to you, okay, well, we're not going to allow you to do it, because they are relying upon people upgrading and using their next version of their software. But these companies and these people have legacy software that has to be used, so they had to keep their system. They have to keep an open ecosystem in place in Windows. Linux is also wonderful because it's an open it's in its inherent nature open, including an open ecosystem. Like, so you can install whatever program you want on Linux. You can install any program you want on Windows. Currently, you can install whatever program that is written for Macintosh on Macintosh. When they go to the new ARM architecture, a lot of the programs, majority, all of the programs currently written on Macintosh will not run on the ARM processor, because it's not an x86 processor. So all the software written from 2002 to now will not work on Apple's ARM architecture. Now Apple did it before, back in 2002, when they switched from their from the RISC-based processors, which were essentially the IBM PC. What the heck were they called? I don't even remember. My God. But anyway, Apple had the RISC-based processor versus the CISC processor, which is reduced instruction set versus the complex instruction set. Well, oh, I know why the green screen is looking the way it is. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go fix the green screen. It's bugging the living crap out of me. So let me go ahead and take care of this. There we go. And we got the green screen back. How about that? Okay, let me put this on so I can monitor the audio. Okay, so where am I getting with this? Well, what I'm getting with this is, okay, in the closed ecosystems, granted, okay, you have less risk of a virus being installed on the device. Okay, you have a less risk of any kind of harmful software be installed. You have there's you're guaranteed by Google that the apps are going to run on the device for the most part. But where you're missing out on is the fact that you're not able to you're losing a lot of control of your software. And the developers are basically held by their genitals, and their genitals are being squeezed, and that's what irritates me. Okay, so I'm a little, I'm a little guy. Okay, and okay, fine, I'm big, but in the scheme of things, when you look at the world, okay, I'm a little guy. Okay, I'm developing an app. I put my app out on Apple. I put my app out on the iPhone. Put my app out on the Android. And I and my personal political views don't mesh to Google's or Apple's political views. Okay, and as a company, they have every right to stop me from using their from using their store. However, they shouldn't have the right to tell me I can't write software for their platform for people to utilize. Because that's totally inherent of what a computer, of what a computer is. Okay, this device, all intents and purposes, is mine. That phone, okay, I pay for. Okay, $1,200 for the phone. Okay, this device is mine. The hardware is mine. Okay, I should be allowed to put whatever operating system I want on this, and not have to void my warranty. Okay, I should be allowed to do whatever I want with this thing, as far as software is concerned, and use it. Okay, however, I'm locked. Okay, for the most part, I'm locked out. Okay, I'm not allowed to make changes to the software. I'm not allowed to I'm not allowed to make choices on the operating system. I have no freedom with my device. Okay, that's me as a consumer. Now, me as a developer, I have no freedom with developing software for this device. Okay, if I want to develop an app for Android, okay, because this is an Android phone. Okay, if I want to develop an app for my Android, I have to follow a long list of rules and regulations. It's something called the terms and conditions. Okay, and this is the piece of this is the legal document that nobody reads. It's like, I agree to the terms and conditions. You click on the check mark and you hit OK. Okay, you're basically selling your life and selling your soul, and you're selling your firstborn child and your lastborn child to these companies with their ridiculous bullshit terms and conditions. And that's what irks me. Is the fact that I don't have the ability to write the software the way I want to write it, and being stuck, being at the mercy of Google and Apple for the way I process my money and the way I receive my money. Okay, so basically, okay, I want to make, if for instance, okay, I have a widget I sell. Okay, the widgets cost to me X amount of dollars. Okay, so the widgets cost me, say, for instance, $2. Okay, I want to be able to make $2 on that widget, so I'm going to charge $4. Now, credit card processing companies, they're charging right around, like, I want to say, once it's all said and done, you're paying right around 3 or 4% for your credit card processing fee. So now I'm no longer getting $2. I'm now paying out. We'll say nice we'll say on the high end, not even conservatively, on the high end, 5%. So out of that $4, okay, I'm paying 5% on that on that $4. So okay, so 20 cents is coming off. Okay, now we're talking about 20 cents off of that too. So instead of making $2 on that $4, I'm now only making $1.80 on my $2. Well, this is the thing. Okay, credit card processing is a necessary enemy. However, Google, they want 30%. So I take that 4 times 0.3. Okay, so out of my $2, out of my $2 margin, okay, they're taking $1.20 out of it. So now, instead of making $2, I'm now making 80 cents on my on my product. Okay, so I'm paying $2 for the product. Okay, I have to give Google 30% of what I'm charging for the widget, on top of and basically I'm making 80 cents on it. Okay, 30% for what? For processing my credit card? Credit card processing companies are charging far less than 5%. Okay, far less than 30%. 30% is way too much money. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like to be taken advantage of. And that's how it is. People are being taken advantage of. People are, and people are being squeezed in these closed ecosystems. Okay, and basically, these monopolies are like, hey, you know what? You want to play ball? You got to follow our rules. Because the world of computing is no longer open and available for you to be able to develop the way you did, in the 80s and 90s and even in the early 2000s, before these devices came out. You're able to develop whatever you want to develop, throw it online, and people would go to your website, pay you a fee for your software. You download the software and you install it on your computer, and you call it a day. Okay, today you got to go to the App Store and you have to download the software on your phone, install it, and you have to jump through all these hoops as the developer. Consumers, they don't think about this. They just think, okay, well, I want this device because it's easy. They don't think about what the what the software developers have to go through. And the software developers, they want to make money on their software, but they but I mean, think about it. Okay, you charge $1, you're getting 30 cents taken out of you. You're getting 30 cents taken out of you for every dollar you spend. But and on top of it all, okay, you got to pay a tax on that. On top of everything else, you get you got to pay your taxes, and you're taxed on it, and you have to pay other fees. And at the end of the day, you're looking at you're you're looking at this huge diminishing return on your money. Versus like I said, on an open ecosystem, I can charge $4 for my widget, or even $4 for my app. Okay, I pay, for instance, $2 wholesale. I upcharge $2 on the app, and I sell it on the and I sell it on my website. I'm only going to put I'm only going to pay like a small percentage, like 5%. On the maximum side, like I said, 5% on the credit card processing fee, and there you go. I have coming into my bank account $1.80 for that $4 widget. Sorry, I'm making $1.80 on that $4 widget versus only making 80 cents. It is a again, what Google and Apple are doing is a disgrace. Even Microsoft is trying to play that game. However, a lot of software developers, they're not using the App Store. They're still using the legacy app system. Even Microsoft uses the legacy app system. With their Office 365, or now called Microsoft 365. Okay, so you get Microsoft Office. Okay, you're not going to the App Store and downloading the Office applications. Like you're downloading and installing the legacy applications because they're still written on they're still written in the legacy on the legacy platform on their open architecture, or they're in their open ecosystem. So again, you have Microsoft Store and you have the open ecosystem. So as I said, Microsoft has both the closed ecosystem and the open ecosystem. However, Apple has their open ecosystem, their closed ecosystem, and they're moving towards a closed ecosystem. Linux, thankfully, will always be an open ecosystem. But the issue is Linux is still not the easiest operating system to deal with for end users. So Linux is definitely not an option for many people. And then again, we are slowly losing our ability to openly develop on our systems. The first systems to come out that had a closed ecosystem were these things. The early phones. Because the manufacturers are like, well, we're going to figure out a way to lock these things down. Microsoft, Apple, Google, they figured out a way to lock down the ecosystems and force their way through on the closed ecosystems. I am really disappointed with the fact that these closed ecosystem phones, that these companies are forming true monopolies that don't allow the little guy to really compete and create the software that they want to create. I mean, I can go on and on in circles because that's all I'm doing right now is going around in circles, between the closed and open ecosystems. I wish I really wasn't, but it's an irksome. Yeah, what's I'm looking for? It is the word I'm looking for. It's an irksome practice. Being formed by these companies, and they're being allowed to allowed to do it and take advantage of their of their monopolies. And they'll argue, well, yeah, they own the operating system, they can do what they want. However, though, the end user should have the right and ability to do what they want with their devices when they have their devices. They should be able to fix their devices. If they have if their devices are with them and they want to fix them, they should be able to fix them. Especially when you spend $1,200 on a phone. Same thing with goes with a computer. You spend $1,200 on a computer. You take that computer and you're able to take the components out and put the components in. For desktops, on laptops, depending on the laptop you get, you're stuck for the most part on being able to swap out components. I came into that issue with my daughter's, my older daughter's laptop. I had to replace, I wanted to upgrade the processor, but in order to upgrade the processor, I had to upgrade the whole entire motherboard. Lucky for her, I also want to put a discrete graphics card on her laptop too. So that was going to involve replacing the motherboard. So I just had to find a motherboard with an i7 processor and and a discrete video card. Okay, great. But what if I wanted to use what if I wanted to purchase like an i5 maybe, and then think about going to an i7 later? Well, then that means I would have to buy another motherboard, and that's a bit of a turnoff. I mean, desoldering and resoldering on the pins on a processor does not seem like something I want to spend my time doing. I mean, I'm skittish about soldering and desoldering now anyway. I don't have a steady hand anymore, so I'm real skittish about that thought. Now, going back to what I was talking about, though, it's like even the manufacturers, device manufacturers, and computer manufacturers are working towards creating devices that can't be easily repaired or easily upgraded. So far, thankfully, Dell in the past few years has been going from proprietary boards and proprietary power supplies and allowing you to go out of the box and install any power supply you want. At one point, Dell was guilty of modifying the motherboard and the power supply so that you can use a default power supply in, unless of course you took you took apart the connector and you reinserted all the wires in the proper order to make it work with the board without frying the board. So even hardware companies or major hardware companies are have been moving away from the proprietary hardware for the computer sector. However, though, on laptops and tablets and other smaller devices, they're becoming more and more proprietary. They become more and more they're extremely difficult to upgrade. They're almost impossible to upgrade. They're almost impossible to repair, because the components are not available to the end users. Even for end users that are comfortable, taking apart the device and taking out, bad chips and putting brand new chips on, and you don't have that ability with newer devices. And again, I'm like straying away from the open and closed ecosystems, but it's the same, it's the same damn thing. These manufacturers want full control over the devices that you purchase. And that control is coming at a price now. It's coming at a price at the developer's ability to develop what they want to develop without having to have the manufacturing company saying to them, well, we don't like your we don't like the way you you do business because you support X candidate. Because you support X candidate, we're going to shut your software down, or we're going to make it extremely difficult for you to run your to be able to run your business. And that type of a poor ethical behavior bugs me. It really does. Nothing more annoying than that, really. It does irk me. It irks me quite a bit. Um, I, I, I don't know how many times I can, I can go over this, because it is by far one of the most annoying topics for me to cover. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Yeah, everyone have yourselves a good one.